Have you guys ever played the Ori games? I have, and they're amazing. Highly recommend. Classic platforming video game, straight up my style. Loved them since literally the first one, been singing the praises ever since. What I didn't know was that the director was based in calling out Alyssa Mercante herself today, well I guess yesterday by the time you're seeing this, on X. Welcome back to Words of Paradise, I'm your host Leon Idol, and yeah, if you didn't see this tweet from Thomas Mahler, the director behind the Ori games, he goes the most eloquent scorched earth you could possibly go on that bimbo. And we're going to get into the tweet, but before we do, hit the subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. And it is so great to see game devs who actually, stand up for gamers and stand up for their art and their creations and stick it to these kotaku hacks who only want a drama farm and clout chase. But before we even get into what he said, let's talk about the catalyst of this whole event. So we had this chick here posted, "Hey new folks, I'm Ray. I work in the gaming industry in UX R&D plus game production. I worked on various software and hardware for Xbox, and I now work as the independent media producer and had the privilege of working on the Dota Internationals 2023 and other gaming media projects." And here she says Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is the second Ori game. And needless to say, yeah, this isn't entirely accurate. This isn't entirely true. I mean, don't get me wrong. Because she worked for Microsoft, there's probably some sort of like marketing involvement or something to that effect. But she wasn't actually part of the team because it's a small team, of relatively indie developers, and she got called out on it. She got called out by the director himself when he says, "I'm the director behind both Ori games, and I don't know who you are and how you're affiliated with Ori." That's not a good look on your, what's supposed to be your professional announcement on X. But she does go on to clarify, "Yep, I worked with Xbox user research Deborah Henderson." Now, she has since deleted these tweets. It's right here. In case someone missed it, she already deleted it. Screenshots, of course, were abound. And, Alyssa Mercante didn't take kindly to his response. So he does respond very nicely. This isn't to Alyssa yet. This is to the original gal talking about how she worked on Ori. Now, I could explain it. "I didn't want to cause you any trouble. I just saw you posting that you worked on Ori, and I had no idea who you were. Since you're calling people names online, I thought it was important to inform people that you never actually worked for Moon Studios, and that you didn't ever directly engage with anyone at Moon." Homie is just laying it on Front Street, calling her out, and you know what? Probably never would have done it if she hadn't been being an outright bitch to individuals about the ongoing, fiasco when it comes to modern day gaming. He then says, "Always be nice to people, Ray, even those with who you disagree." Now, there really is nothing about him to indicate that he even agrees with us. It's not he's some, angry gamergate chud or something to that effect. I really don't know his stances on gamergate, but what I do know is that he upset Alyssa Mercante, who went on to call him a myriad of names that were not particularly nice. Let's see, I should have them here. Give me one moment. Alright, here it is. Alyssa Mercante responded to this, which I'm surprised she even got involved in the conversation. Again, she had nothing to do with this up to this point, with "You're a dickhead." Ironically, just after he had asked to be nice, because remember, she is effectively putting him on blast. She is presenting Ori and the individuals that worked on Ori in a bad light by attacking gamers, then claiming she worked on the game. So his response was wholly professional. Maybe don't do this, or if you're gonna do it, don't bring us into it when you were never directly affiliated with us. So Alyssa Mercante, of course, comes in with the "You're a dickhead." Now, Thomas Mahler, or who I'm going to call Thanos Mahler here, comes out with the "I don't even know who you are." And Alyssa thinks she got herself the gotcha. She's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna tear him asunder," because apparently she got some long withstanding beef that homie didn't even know about, because you know how women, don't ever forget about anything. And so she drops a little snippet from a Kotaku article. Now, I was gonna pull up the original article, and then I thought, I don't care to go to Kotaku's site just to report on someone dunking on her. So thankfully she got this little snippet here that assumingly she wrote. "Mahler sometimes argued with the veterans that he brought in, and he changed his mind about the decisions they made and would overrule them. Mahler would also forget about our agreements and then argue for the opposite to happen, and that impacted the work for multiple people," multiple developers said. So now that you're caught up to speed, here's his dissertation to Alyssa Mercante. Again, eloquent lighting the witch at the stake. Hey, Alyssa, you're apparently a journalist from Kotaku, so I'm guessing you haven't worked in actual game development yet. Already scathing, and he has not once called her a negative name, hasn't said anything bad about her as a person, just made a very clear and obvious assumption. Let me try to explain the thing you posted about, which I'm guessing was from that hit piece from a few years back. Yes, I'm guilty of what's stated in that image, and that's okay, because this is the normal creative process. Hold up, full stop, the guy's the devil, the guy's evil, we cannot allow him around your children. He is a very direct boss, and he wants to get things done as the director of his game, practically the Antichrist. We brought lots of veterans into Moon because generally great people want to get the opportunity to work on great projects, and that's our goal at Moon. We always set out to create the kind of games we'd love to play ourselves, and you know what? He did a damn good job of that because in all reality, I'm not just glazing the dude because he took on Alyssa Mercante. Look at my Steam history. I love the Ori games. I played them on Xbox, I played them on Switch, and now I have them on Steam. Yes, I was really happy it turned out to be a dude from a developer from a company that I enjoy, that's put out products I enjoy, that does make this all the sweeter. That fills some hole in the market because for some reason, these holes haven't been filled yet. Unlike Alyssa, who's had pretty much all of her holes filled, if we had to guess. And so we're all incredibly passionate about what we do. With great talent comes lots of enthusiasm and passion. Again, something that Alyssa probably knows next to nothing about, because the only passion I see that she has is a passion for blowing her very small Kotaku paychecks on various forms of alcohol at hockey games. Which absolutely leads to the arguments, because ultimately everyone is working hard on getting their vision into the game. But also, everyone at Moon understands that we are working together as a team. So the point of these arguments is to try and convince each other why this or that solution would be the best thing for the game we're making, and the best solution ought to win. Oh my god, it's almost like when you have a team together of individuals, probably mostly men if I had to wager a guess, though I don't actually know, who want to problem solve. They can have these debates, they can have these arguments, they can not be little soy boy bitches about it, and they can come to some sort of understanding or conclusion or agreement that is for the betterment of the project. And you want to know what's amazing? I do this with my friends all the time. Do you think that we vehemently agree with one another? I mean, hell, you've seen me on Saturday Night Hypnosis. How often do I go off on tirades that argue with Will of the Fans, or Hypno, or Coach, or insert any other member of the crew here, and guess what? We're all good, fine buddies afterwards, because as men, we can have these dialogues, we can have these disagreements, we can have knockdown, drag-out fights, and everything be fine. But apparently, Alyssa doesn't understand that. I assume it's because of the obvious deficiency of not having a penis. Most of the times, the beauty behind these arguments is that everybody gets a chance to contribute, and more often than not, the actual solution will be one that ultimately everybody contributed to, because we're dealing with very complex issues all the time, and complex problems often need complex solutions. Which is very different than the typical Dave Chappelle quote. It is often a chaotic process, but it is a controlled chaos. And yes, absolutely every now and then I have to put my foot down and set the direction, because I'm the game director, and ultimately it's my responsibility to ensure that everyone knows where things are heading and the decision gets made. Would you look at that? Somebody in gaming who isn't a yes man, who isn't afraid to put their foot down and say no. We're not doing it this way, because he knows the responsibility, the onus, it is on him as the director. And you know what? It seems to be a stratagem that's working out for him, considering the Ori games are critically and commercially acclaimed by fans and, again, critics alike. Yes, it also happens that I agreed to a certain decision, playtested some more, and changed the direction after. Again, to me, this is a normal part of the process, since things get clearer and clearer, the more stuff gets implemented, and the more we play and test. To me, it's all just how creative work happens. It can be painful, but my job, like any good director, is to understand what's going on and make sure the right decision's getting made. Even if some work might get rendered useless in the process, see here, even Miyamoto is guilty of that. Shigeru Miyamoto, probably the eldritch god being of gaming. I mean, it's like him, Kojima, and Shinji Mikami. Like, you talk about the big three of the Japs, those are gonna be them, and, yeah, if homie is saying if Miyamoto can do it, I can do it, you know what? Hard agree. A few years back, we hired some folks that didn't really fit our culture. I wonder if they were blue-haired Landwell feminists, if I just had to guess, because that was around the time that really DEI initiatives and whatnot just started going. So we had to part ways with them, and then this article happened. Wasn't a great feeling to see some ex-Moon folks talk badly behind our backs, but ultimately, it just made it clear that these folks shouldn't have worked at Moon in the first place, and I hope they're happier now wherever they landed. Once again, being a class act, he hopes they are happier now, despite the fact that they backstabbed him and his company, and it could have put Ori in a particularly precocious situation with Kotaku writing a hit piece about the studio. I don't know why you're out here cursing out game developers and what your whole deal is. You didn't know before, but you know now. It also goes to show he is not a Gamergate chud, otherwise he would know, because this has been an ongoing saga for 8 or 9 months now, but he doesn't know, because he's kept his head down, probably worked on games as his hobby and as his job, as something that he wants to do for the rest of his life, and doesn't care about your petty culture war nonsense that you are instigating when trying to change the landscape and the culture of gaming, of which he will be affected, because it is his lifeblood. But anyway, now he knows what her deal is. I hope that that gave you some insight into the creative process and this messiness and beauty. I hope you have a nice day. Yours, Dickhead. Darn it to me, Tommy boy. That was so good. But this Striazen effect kicks in even further when Wyatt's Metal, homie of mine, who is, he's an old school gamer like your boy. He's an old soul. Doesn't play a lot of the modern stuff. It's just, he's been busy playing in a metal band, actually making something out of himself. But you know what? The Striazen effect, Wyatt's Metal coming in. This dude rules. I'll be buying both Ori games now out of respect. And that is the saga of how Alyssa Mercante got straight bodied by an actual game dev who is sick of her shit. Oh, you love to see it. I mean, we live in this portion of society, we live in this point in time when people in the industry are afraid to put their foot down. So anytime you see a developer like this, anytime you see, somebody who's willing to stand up for gaming culture, gamers, the art form of actually creating the games, because that is a very important thing. We kind of need them to have games to buy. Yeah, you love to see it. He didn't bow and kowtow to the woke mob. He didn't bow and kowtow to kotaku. And you know what? He's gonna be rewarded for that. Just so you guys know, the Ori games are on Steam. They're on practically every platform. Go pick them up. They are frequently on sale. That's how I got them on Steam. I mean, I already had them on 2 other platforms. Why did I buy them again? Because they were cheap on sale, and I wanted to play them on the PC for convenience sake. So, yeah, if you haven't played the games, not only should you purchase them just to support the fact that there's actually somebody out there still standing up for gamers and gaming culture, but they are honestly just really good games, and those are things that are in short supply nowadays. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I am a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, not always about the ongoing Gamergate saga, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles we go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos we react to on our Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 130 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. But only one kind of diversity of thought. If that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.